Let's start with the objectives of this video. First of all, we're gonna download and install Unity, which is our game engine. And then we're gonna install Visual Studio Code, which will be our platform for typing the actual code to make the game. And without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so let's start off by going to the Unity page and downloading it. Right, so we want to go to the Unity download archive, which is where all the Unity versions are stored. I want to download the earliest one, so this means the 2018.3.2. You can either download it for a Mac computer operating system or Windows. I'm gonna go for Windows since it's my operating system. Once you've clicked, you've got the executable archive, so it's gonna pop up, and then here we go, we can start installing Unity. Right, so we keep pressing next, we accept the terms of service and all that stuff. Then we only install Unity, right? So all the other things don't interest us. And this is where we choose where Unity is going to be installed. In my case, I'm going to create a new folder, right? Because I don't want to overwrite my other Unity versions. And I'm just gonna call it Unity 2 on my E drive. And then you just have to click next and Unity will start installing, right? So while Unity is installing, we're gonna go ahead and open a new tab on our browser and search for Visual Studio Code, right? So download Visual Studio Code. So this will be the platform in which we will type the actual code for the game, right? So we head to the Visual Studio Code page and you choose the option that better suits you. In my case, I'm going to download the Windows version because the one that suits my computer. And you'll see that in this one, the executable is quite big compared to Unity because it's everything like stored in this archive. Then the Chrome is going to check if it has viruses or it doesn't. This is why it's keeping the maximum download size, but I can't run it yet. And while we do this, we're gonna explain really quick what's a game engine. Right, so we have Unity, which is our game engine, right? So this is the software that will help us build the game through illumination of the scene, which is based on math. Then we apply physics to the scene that will see this while we build our game. And last but not the least, we have the sound, right? So the game engine allows us to integrate all of those three elements and much more stuff into our game without any issues. Right, so we're gonna install Visual Studio now. This is the platform in which we will code the game. Right, so it's very important that you store that line, right? So this is where the program exists inside the computer. And we'll use this later for Unity, so we can link both software together. Now, while I was installing it, Unity popped up in the background, so I'm gonna drag it aside and we're gonna focus on the left window. So that's the Visual Studio 1, and we want just to keep pressing next until the program says, right, so I'm finished installing, and just run it. Now this is Visual Studio Code, the coding platform. We're gonna take a look at it later in the following video because now we're gonna focus on the Unity install and we're gonna wait till the bar is filled. Okay, so we've skipped ahead of time and we can say that Unity has completed the setup. Now on the other window it's gonna say Unity setup completed and we'll go ahead and finish it. Now it's important that Unity doesn't run like Visual Studio Code, so we're gonna search it. And it's Unity 2018.3.2 F1. That's the version that we're gonna use. Once you run it, you'll see that screen popping up. And following it, you'll see the Unity Hub, which is where all the projects are stored. Okay, so we're done installing Unity and Visual Studio Code. And on the next video, we're gonna proceed to familiarize with the environments that we're gonna use to create the game.